slugger in their rookie season, guys. It's
your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Friday, May 16th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $, ORION-NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the San Diego Padres on Apple TV+. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Friday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, it is Julio Rodriguez. And on the right, the Padres stud, Fernando Tatis Jr. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, DHing for the Mariners, Jorge Polanco. Batting third, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, playing first base, Rowdy Tellez. Batting seventh, playing right field, Leody Taveras. Batting eighth, playing second base, Miles Mastrobuoni. Batting ninth, playing third base, Ben Williamson. And on the mound with a 1-1 record, an ERA of 6.60, it is Logan Evans. And now let's get into the starting lineup for the home San Diego Padres. Leading off for the Padres in right field, Fernando Tatis Jr. Batting second, playing first base for San Diego, Luis Arraez. Batting third, playing third base, Manny Machado. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, center fielder, Jackson Merrill. Batting fifth, playing shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. Batting sixth, DHing for the Padres, Gavin Sheets. Batting seventh, playing second base, Jake Cronenworth. Batting eighth, catching today for San Diego, Elias Diaz. And batting ninth, playing left field, Brandon Lockridge. And on the mound for the Padres with a 2-0 record, an ERA of 0.00, Stephen Kolek. And we'll be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and 100 in the donos on every single stream. Let's go, baby. Daniel in the building, what's good? Megan in the building, what's good? And we don't get too many games on Apple TV+, but the thing that I do love about the games that are presented there is they definitely got the best cameras in the business. Every broadcast is in 4K, even if you don't have a 4K TV, and it definitely shows, and you can tell when you're watching on the broadcast. Definitely going to be a tough series, not going to be easy. Double E in the building, what's good? I can get you a link if you need a link. You can always use a streaming link for the game as well. So even if you don't got Apple TV Plus, you should still be able to watch the game. Let me double check here real quick. Yeah, I can. Here, I'll send you a little message on Instagram, Elliot. All right, just sent you a message. And if you end up going there, again, you might have like a 15-second delay compared to the live broadcast, but that's better than not being able to see the game at all. So. Stephen Kolek on the bump, and leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. On deck will be Jorge Polanco, and batting third, Julio Rodriguez. Yeah, I think I did end up seeing some kind of post on my timeline about that as well. Definitely an icon and a legend. That's for damn sure. Yeah, so I sent you a message, double E, and if you just follow those instructions that I sent you, you should be good to go. And again, let me know if you have any issues with it. And I have another option if you need it, but you should be good to go. Yeah, it's crazy because I got MLB TV, through T-Mobile for free, which is like $150 value. But the thing is like, if you want to watch your local team, they don't even allow you. So the whole purpose of me getting it for free was to watch the Mariners, and you can't even watch the Mariners on there. So, but obviously this broadcast is completely different because it's on Apple TV Plus. But I get Apple TV Plus and Netflix for free with my phone plan through T-Mobile. You just have to be able to, turn it on, through the, actual online link that they have if you actually have one there. All right, baby, here we go. Jacob in the building, what's good? First pitch to JP. Crushes that one. Back. And wow, just foul. Just kidding. Back. See ya! J.P. Crawford goes yard on the first pitch of the game. Oh, baby. Way to bring the electricity right out of the gates. Nice job, J.P. Let's go. 1-0 Mariners. Yes, sir. Didn't think I was going to have the trident come out right at the beginning of the game, but we're going to take that, baby. Let's go. Megan with a $5, appreciate you. Polo, line drive on the first pitch. I love that. Let's go, baby. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little cactus jack, bang, bang. I can always squeeze in a photo of Jim if you would like, unless you want something a little bit different. Megan with a $5 to get us started off on a good note. Just like J.P. Crawford with a first pitch solo dinger and then a first pitch to Polo for a single. Things are looking good here for the Seattle Mariners. Next up is center fielder Julio Rodriguez. First pitch to Julio, popped up, and fouling it out of play. Oh, 1 pitch. Takes a strike looking with that sweeper behind in the count now 0-2 to Julio Rodriguez. Reflect in the building. What's good? Go M's. Great start for us. Pitches outside with a 4-seam fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Phone is already blowing up already after that first couple pitches. Let's go. Trident's up. Little slow dribbler. Down toward the third base line. Perfectly slow hit ball. There we go. Nice infield single by Julio, man. Everything is just looking up right now. First pitch to J.P. Crawford, solo dinger. First pitch to Jorge Polanco, a single to left. And then, after working the count, a few pitches, Julio with a slow dribbler towards third base stays fair. And we're in business, baby. Next up, big dumper catcher Cal Raleigh, top of the first on Apple TV Plus. Runners at first and second with no outs. You couldn't ask for more of an electric start to start off this matchup. And again, we should have won that last game against the Yankees, and we let that one slip through our fingers. So if we can win 2 out of 3, first pitch fouled up and fouled back, out of play for Cal Raleigh. But if we can win, obviously 2 out of 3 on the road against the Padres, that would be huge to kind of make up for that Yankee series. And then again, we have a few opponents that we should be able to take advantage of, like the White Sox and the Astros and the Twins, series that are coming up after this. But anytime you're on the road, you don't really know what type of team is going to come out, but we're ultra focused. And again, we're ultra confident, and we're trying to be able to get this series win, but we got to start it off on game 1 on the road here against San Diego. He's 2-0 with a 0.00 ERA. So, I don't know if that's a little shocking for Double E, to see the Mariners rough him up like that early on, but that was what his ERA was and record coming into the game. Runners at first and second here in the top of the first. 2-1 pitch. Pops up and fading foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Kolek to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Oh, that's very cool. Anytime you can get some memorabilia from a friend, especially as someone as iconic as Jim. 4-seam fastball, fouled off. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes from Kolek to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Mariners jumping on the Padres on the road early. First pitch dinger by J.P. Crawford, 357 feet, homering to right. And again, 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. That'll be the magic number. Double play opportunity, throw to first, got him. And big dumper hits into a double play. Jorge Polanco moves to third. Next up for the Mariners, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And we're still waiting on Randy to kind of find his rhythm and find his groove. And hopefully we can get something here tonight. Let's go, Randy. First pitch is outside. Did he go? He did not. Takes a ball. 1-0 count to Randy Arozarena. 236 average, 5 homers, 20 ribbies with an OPS just under 800. A very streaky player. Does get hit a lot and walked a lot. Pitch right down the pipe. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kolek to Randy. Randy popped up. Should be a routine play here into right field, and it is. And the damage is done. Nice catch there by Fernando Tatis Jr. in right, but J.P. Crawford jumping off a fastball right down the middle. First pitch of the game, trying to get ahead of the strike count. And again, that happens. Not only do we do it to teams, but also teams do it to us. And unfortunately, we had that happen with, Gabe Spire in the relief in the pen against the Yankees, as well as Carlos Vargas. And again, you knew that Aaron Judge wasn't going to be, limited to very minimal action the whole series. It took him a while to get going, but better late than ever. And again, we'll see what happens the next time around when we play New York. All right, let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next here for the Padres. Next up for the Padres, right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. Batting second, first baseman Luis Ariz. And batting third baseman Manny Machado. Let's go Mariners. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We'll be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and 100 in the donos on every single stream.
Start watching at FuboTV.com.
See if I can find a Jim Henson here real quickly. Rest in peace. Commercials don't last too long, but we'll see if we can squeeze in a one or two. Appreciate you. Should be able to get 2 or 3 here, hopefully. We'll see if they format or not. Rest in peace, Jim. What an icon. Let's see if I can get one from way back in the day. Let's go young Jim. Oh, I got to delete one to bring it up. Let's see if I can bring it up here real quick. First pitch to Fernando Tatis Jr. is inside. 1-0 count. Wow, look how young he is. Incredible. Fernando Tatis Jr. in the box. Logan Evans on the mound. Pitch in the zone for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike from Logan Evans to Fernando Tatis Jr. Little chopper. JP, throw to first. There we go. Easy out. 1 away. Nice catch by Rowdy Tellez. Next up, first baseman Luis Ariz. On deck, third baseman Manny Machado. Ariz slaps it. Line drive foul. About 15 rows back. Got to keep your head on a swivel with this Padre team. And we have 11 likes. We need 9 more to get to 20. We got 45 in the room, so about a quarter of the people in the room have done it so far. As Ariz smacks one into left field into Randy Arozarena. So if you could take a second and smash the like button so we can get to that 20 number, that'll help us get to the algorithm and get more people here in the stream. Appreciate every single person that has liked, subbed, donated, commented, and shared, not only recently, but also within 2025. Nice base knock by Luis Ariz. Next up is third baseman Manny Machado. First pitch to Machado, high and inside with a cutter, 1-0 count from Evans to Machado. Pitches inside. 2-0 count from Evans to Machado. High and inside with 2 cutters so far for Logan. And he pitched much better at home than he did on the road. But we'll see if he can step up here today. 1-1 pitch popped up and should be a routine play for Randy Arozarena in left field. And it is 2 away. Next up, one of the best up-and-coming players that nobody really talks about, center fielder Jackson Merrill. And if you were actually looking at the side-by-side comparison in the pregame show on Apple TV+, if you actually look at what Jackson has been able to do compared to guys like Julio Rodriguez as well as King Griffey Jr., his numbers are right on par, and even some categories are higher than those other 2 guys on Seattle. Definitely a guy that is not really looked at in the same way, but a very, very good up-and-coming player. Can't wait to see how he develops, Jackson Merrill. Fouls that pitch off on the 1-0 count with the changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first with 2 outs. 1-0 Mariner lead with a first pitch from Colette Crawford in the game, and he homered to right 357 feet to give us the 1-0 lead. Nice homer by JP, setting the tone early. 1-1 pitch inside at the hips with the sinker. 2 balls and 1 strike from Evans to Merrill. Popped up. Julio and Randy are there. Julio calls him off. and the no-fly zone get the job done. See what I can pull up here, and then I got to make room for this one. See if I can get this to format here. Will it format? Let's try. First attempt, it did not, but let's try again. And I think it will. There it is. Anytime you can get memorabilia like that from an icon, from a friend, very, very cool. Rest in peace, Jim Henson. End of the first inning, 1-0 Mariners lead. And if you're just coming to the broadcast, first pitch of the game from Stephen Kolek, 2-0 record with an ERA of 0.00. Fastball right down the middle. JP Crawford swung and took it all the way yard, 357 feet. Homer to right on the first pitch of the game to give us a 1-0 lead. Let's see who's up next now for the Seattle Mariners here in the top of the second. Next up for the Mariners in the 6th hole, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. Batting second, right fielder Leody Taveras. And batting third, second baseman Miles Mastrobuoni. Let's go, Miles. Would like to be able to see Leo Rivas get a chance to start over Mastrobuoni or Demo, but captain with a 5er. Let's go, baby. First pitch to Rowdy Tellez, in there for a strike with a sweeper. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack bang bang. I hope so too. If you could do me a solid and take care of the likes and the donos on the stream, Captain, I'd greatly appreciate it. That way we can make sure we're hitting those numbers when we need to. Especially we got 60 in the room. We should be able to get 20 likes within just a few minutes if we're not already there already. Pitch is low and out of the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike from Kolek to Tellez. And we're sitting at 10, 90 to go. Let me know what you want to do photo-wise, and I got you as well. Chopper by Rowdy Tellez. Cronenworth is there, throw to first, and an easy out there for the Padres, 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, right fielder Leody Taveras. Appreciate you, Captain. First pitch, in there, taking a strike, looking in the zone. Just outside of the zone, if we're really being honest, but we'll see where the ump calls it. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is low and away with the changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kolek to Taveras. Yeah, we definitely hit a wall, after winning 9 consecutive series in a row, playing the Blue Jays and getting swept and only winning 1 game out of 3 against New York when we should have won 2 out of 3. But it shows you how important the bullpen truly is. Like, you can have a magnificent start, from one of your starters and even have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 run lead. But once they go out, if you have a shitty bullpen that can't hang on to the lead, you can see it disintegrate pretty quick, and that's what happened in that last game against New York. Little slow dribbler, toe tap at first, and Leody Taveras grounds out to first, 2 away. But I do think that, we'll have a new focus, not only going on the road and sometimes, when you're at home, you get a little too comfortable with things. And sometimes you need to go on the road where you have that mentality where it's everyone versus us. And again, once you have that mentality, instead of everyone cheering for you, everyone booing you, and it's like you got to stick together, sometimes that brings out the best in a team. And I think that's exactly what we need, even though we're going against a very tough opponent in the San Diego Padres. First pitch, Mastroboni takes a strike, looking low and in the zone with the slider, 0-1 count. And again, it could be Demo, it could be Miles Mastroboni, it could be Leo Rivas, little slow dribbler, and same location, throw to first. And a very easy inning there for the Padres. And again, you're seeing a lot of action there for Luis Ariz at first. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning here on Apple TV Plus with a 1-0 Seattle Mariner lead. Next up for the Padres, shortstop Xander Bogaerts. Batting second, DHing for the Padres, Gavin Sheets. And batting third, second baseman, it's the Crone Zone, Jake Cronenworth. Let's go Mariners. All right, perfect. We got there. I mean, especially with the amount of people that we have, we should be able to hit that. Next goal will be 30. Let's try to get to 30 within the first hour of the stream, and we should be able to hit 50 to 60, pretty easily, I think, in the stream by the time that the stream is over. So, and anything that you want to be able to see, dono-wise, Captain, you got a specific player you want to highlight? JP did hit the solo dinger. Do you want JP Crawford, or is there someone else that you want? Let me know. But nice to be able to have, one of our solid role players. It's not Polo, it's not Julio, it's not Cal. Again, we just need, guys like JP Crawford and Dylan Moore, Ben Williamson, to kind of show that the role players can do it. And once those guys do it, then the others will follow in suit. Randy Arozarena, Rowdy Tellez, Leody Taveras, Miles Mastroboni. But hopefully we'll get some Leo Rivas, and hopefully we'll be able to drop some bunts down as well. We haven't really been able to drop bunts down. We haven't really been stealing bags. We haven't really been able to have that same type of offense where we were averaging about 6 runs a game for about a month. And when you average 6 to 10 runs for a month, even when your pitching is kind of bad, as long as you're giving up a certain amount, but you're scoring more, at the end of the day, if you're giving up 5 runs, but you're scoring 6 to 15, it doesn't fucking matter. But unfortunately, against the Blue Jays and the Yankees, it was more like 1 to 3 runs. And again, you can't win a whole lot of games in the MLB scoring only 1 to 3, unless you end up getting into a shootout and it ends up being 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. And the Mariners aren't really built for wins like that. We will win that way once in a while. But again, at least we have George Kirby and Logan Gilbert. They're going to be coming back very soon, within about a week and a half. So we're going to need them. First pitch from Logan Evans is Xander Bogaerts. Takes a strike looking with a sweeper, 0-1 count. Okay, I got you. Takes another strike looking with a sinker, low and away from Logan Evans to Xander Bogaerts. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Seattle. Logan Evans on the mound, Bogaerts in the box. 0-2 pitch, little dribbler towards third base, foul. Yes, sir. We need a big series out of big dumper. Big facts. Trident's up. Pitches outside with the changeup low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with no outs, with Logan Evans on the mound, Xander Bogaerts in the box. And Evans played well at home, but on the road, he got absolutely obliterated on his first road start. So hopefully it'll be a little bit better. A nice diving catch by Randy Arozarena in left field. There we go, 1 away. That's the effort that I like to see out of Randy, instead of lollygagging out there and kind of, taking it easy. I want to be able to see the effort, hustle, and good hustle by Randy. I like it. Next up for the Padres, DHing Gavin Sheets. And Julio is mic'd up for the game, so you're going to be able to hear him throughout the broadcast here on Apple TV Plus. First pitch in there, low and away with the sweeper, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Pitch is low and away. Same pitch, different location. 2-0 count from Logan Evans to Gavin Sheets. And if Evans can give up 3 runs or less, it's going to give us a really good shot to be able to win. And Sheets right up the middle, right over Logan Evans' head. He throws up the mitt, but just a little too late there. Nice base knock by the DH, Gavin Sheets. Holy Sheets. Next up, second baseman, welcome to the Crone Zone, Jake Cronenworth. Yeah, unfortunately, you guys don't have Ha-Seong Kim anymore, but I like your guys' roster. You know, even with all the turnover year in and year out, you know, you guys are right there, you know, with the Giants and the Dodgers. Definitely the best division in baseball, you know, there in the National League West. Hell, even the Diamondbacks are a couple games above 500. Now, you know, you have the worst team in baseball in the Colorado Rockies, but to have 3 playoff teams with the records that you guys have, it's going to be very exciting to see who ends up winning the division. And it's not like a for sure thing that the Dodgers are going to win it. It wouldn't shock me, you know, depending on injuries and how things kind of play out. I think the Padres and Giants do legitimately have a shot to win the division. And if they don't, and the Dodgers win it, you know, which they probably should based off their roster, if the injuries don't hit them, you know, the Giants and Padres should be able to get in and do some damage in the playoffs. Pitch fouled off with that sweeper. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Evans to Cronenworth. And Cronenworth popped up into right field. Leody Taveras is there, and he is out. 2 away. Next up, for the San Diego Padres, catching today, Elias Diaz. Yeah, I was going to say your weak spots right now are catcher and left field, and that's why you have him batting 8th and 9th. You got right here, Elias Diaz, and then obviously, like you mentioned, left fielder Brandon Lockridge. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, the lineup is so solid. And again, it's like how many teams are going to have, you know, great players 1 through 9. You're typically going to have 1 or 2 guys that are going to be like role players or average or below average. You hope that they end up being above average to add on, you know, to the superstars that you already have on the team. But we'll see what happens here. In play, and Diaz singled up center right past JP Crawford. That's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. Now you got runners at first and second with 2 out. And again, we're going to have to make sure that we have our head on a swivel there, you know, for Miles Mastroboni at second and JP at short. I was almost kind of hoping Leo Rivas would get a chance to play if it wasn't going to be Dylan Moore, but they still seem to go with Miles Mastroboni even a little bit more. Leo Rivas would have made that play. Next up, left fielder Brandon Lockridge. Come on, Logan, settle in, baby. And he's essentially a AAA pitcher. I think that we have more confidence in him than Emerson Hancock. Bryce Miller's on the IL, but luckily Logan Gilbert and George Kirby are going to be back in about a week and a half. And really the 2 best pitchers on the Mariners so far that are healthy are Brian Wu as our 1 and Luis Castillo as our 2. Little slow dribbler and a force out there by JP Crawford. There we go. And we leave 2 stranded, and I like that. And again, you know, a couple singles up the middle, 3 hits apiece for the Padres and the Mariners, but nothing for the Padres on the scoreboard just yet. And let's go to the top of the 3rd inning with a Seattle Mariner 1-0 lead. Next up for the Mariners, 3rd baseman Ben Williamson. Let's go, Big Ben. We need that hot streak to continue. Batting second, the guy that took advantage of the first pitch strike and went yard, shortstop J.P. Crawford. First pitch of the game, 357 feet. See ya! And batting third, a guy that needs to heat up as well, DHing for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. We definitely need Big Dumper to dump on the Padres at least a couple times in the series, which would be fantastic. I mean, last time he played him, he did go yard from the left side and the right side. So, you know, we'll see what we can get, you know, based off pitches and location. You know, Not sure if he'll get one today, but as the game progresses, we'll find out if we, feel that maybe the time is right. See if we can get a couple more cows up here for Captain for his $5 dono. I appreciate you. It's Big Dumper's world, and we're just living in it, baby. Top 5 MVP candidate, and you don't really see that too often out of catchers. The best catcher in baseball, you're looking at him. Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. End of the second inning, 1-0 Mariners. Let's go, baby. Appreciate you, Captain. Let's go, Big Ben. And on the mound for the Padres, relief pitcher turned starter, 2-0 record with an ERA of 0.00 coming in. Gave up a homer to JP, but we'll see what else we can get out of him as the game progresses. First pitch with the sinker, low and away. 1-0 count. One 0 pitch, low and away with a cutter. Sinker and cutter. Kolek likes to kind of rotate within a few pitches there. Takes a strike looking. Low and away, but this time in the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike from Kolek to Williamson. Let's go, Big Ben. Top of the third. 1-0 Seattle lead. Takes a strike looking on the 2-1 pitch. 4-seam fastball. Low, but in the strike zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes with no outs from Kolek on the bump. And on the mound, Big Ben Williamson in the box. And Ben Williamson cooled off a little bit from his hot start when he came up from AAA with our affiliate, the Tacoma Rainiers. And Williamson check swings, and they say he went around 1 away. Down goes Big Ben. I hate getting strikeouts off check swings. It feels cheap, but, obviously if you go around, right? Next up, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. 277 average, 4 homers, 19 ribbies, OPS of 772, and took the first pitch of the game, yard, see ya, for a 1-0 lead. First pitch, inside with a 4-seam fastball. Kolek's like, I'm not going to throw it to you down the middle again. I'm going to try to, pitch around you, and that's exactly what he's doing. 1-0 pitch, this time, low and away with the slider. 2 ball. From Kolek to J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. And J.P. is a very patient hitter most of the time, so we'll see if he can work out maybe a walk here. Takes a strike, looking high and in the zone with a sweeper from Kolek. Great pitch there. 2 balls and 1 strike here in the top of the third. 1-0 Mariner lead with 1 out. Nobody on. 2-1 pitch. Low and away. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike with 1 out and nobody on. See if JP can force a walk in the next couple pitches here. 3-1 pitch. Pitch is out of the zone, but they say on the line. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Kolek to Crawford. JP. And a line drive to center. 2 away. Nice catch there by Jackson Merrill in center. He's a stud. Next up, another individual that may be swinging at that, potential first pitch right down the middle, Jorge Polanco. But again, good pitchers recognize when people are over eager, that try to get ahead of the count, and pitchers want to get ahead of the count and throw that first pitch strike, right? And hitters want to be able to take that pitch because typically they can get a single, double, triple, or go yard off of it, but others will throw garbage hoping that people will chase, like guys like Julio Rodriguez. But Julio's been much better in the box in May than he was in March and April. First pitch outside with the sweeper. 1-0 count to Jorge Polanco. And Jorge's been able to manage typically, 330 to 450 pretty much throughout the whole year. He hasn't really dipped below that for quite some time. And hopefully he'll be able to bring that batting average up from 330 is where he's at the moment. 2-0 pitch. Pitch is outside. Now count is 3 balls and no strikes to Jorge Polanco. And normally this is a green light, go for a moonshot here. But again, Polo will be patient and we'll see if we can get a walk here. 3-0 pitch. On the line in the zone with a 4-seam fastball. 3 balls and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Nice heat on that last pitch, 94 miles an hour from Kolek. We're at 10 on the Dono train, 90 to go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. We need 3 more likes to get to 30. Let's see if we can get to 50 within the first hour. Pitch is in the zone again with the sweeper, 83 miles an hour, fooled Polo. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and nobody on, but started the count with a 3-0 count on Polo. Let's see if he can dial in. 3-2 pitch, and sweeper fouled up and out of play. Nice souvenir for a kid there in the second row. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. Mariners up 1-0 on the Padres. JP Crawford with a first pitch homer to start off the game to right 357 feet, and hopefully that won't be the only one that we see today. 3-2 pitch, little dribbler. Throw to Luis Ariz at first, and he's been very busy there. A lot of base knocks have been to the shortstop, Xander Bogaerts, to Luis Ariz. We've seen, 4 or 5 outs already, in that almost same location. And the Padres get out of that one unscathed. Let's see who's up next for San Diego in Double E here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Next up for the Padres, right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. 0 for 1. Love him. What a stud. Batting second, 1 for 1. First baseman Luis Ariz. A guy that can hit 300 to 400, was struggling at the beginning of the year. Started off the year like 0 for 16, 0 for 17, 0 for 20, something of that nature, but is able to fight back and get his batting average all the way up to 291, and it will be over 300 in this series, 100%. And batting third, another stud, a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best third basemen in the game, Manny Machado. All 3 players, actually Luis Ariz is 1 for 1, Tatis and Machado 0 for 1, but it's hard to be able to limit the damage on players like that. And then on top of that, you got Tatis, you got Ariz, you got Machado, and then you got Bogaerts, right? And then you got role players in Cronzone and Cronenworth. But really, the X factor for the team is Jackson Merrill. I don't really think people understand how good of a player he truly is. But again, as the season progresses and as we get further along, especially with the Padres having the record that they have, 27-15, 16-5 at home, incredible home record. More and more people will understand how good Jackson Merrill is, and not only was, but is gonna be. And again, if you do a side-by-side like they did in the pregame show, based on how many games he's played, comparing to Julio Rodriguez and Ken Griffey Jr., he even has stats higher than those guys up at this early stage in his career. So again, we'll wait and see if consistency will be king for him. But another player on the Padres that I really like, that I always keep my eyes on. All right, let's see what Fernando Tatis Jr. has got up here next for the Padres. Bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 Seattle on Apple TV+. Let's go. And I love Apple TV Plus's broadcasting. It's not like the games that they used to have on YouTube where the announcing is terrible and the camera work is terrible. Apple TV Plus is the only broadcasting group that uses 4K cameras. And even when you don't have a 4K TV, it looks like it's in 4K, even on a high definition television. And you can definitely tell. First pitch, low and away with the sweeper, 83 miles an hour by Logan Evans, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Pitch is low and away with the sweeper. 2 balls and no strikes from Logan Evans to Fernando Tatis Jr. Come on, Logan. We need you, baby. Big swing and a miss on that cutter. 2 balls and 1 strike from Logan Evans to Fernando Tatis Jr. And with Logan Evans coming into the game, a 1-1 record, an ERA of 6.60, but a lot of that ERA was from his road start where he got crushed. So he actually, plays pretty well at home. We have more trust in him, I believe, than Bryce Miller and Emerson Hancock at the moment. He's young, he's a AAA pitcher, but he definitely is showing some flash and some promise. Little chopper up the middle. JP Crawford is there, but misses it. Damn. I'm not sure if that's going to be credited for an error. JP threw the mitt down, and he couldn't get a good grasp on it. Nice little base knock there by Fernando Tatis Jr. Normally, JP makes that play. That was rare to see him miss that ground ball, but it happens once in a while. Doesn't look like they're going to credit him an error, just a good base hit for Tatis Jr., who's a stud. Next up, first baseman Luis Arraez. And again, prior to the slow start at the beginning of this year, every single team that he's been on, the guy, is like the modern day Ichiro. And we don't have too many of those. A guy that can bat 300 to 400 pretty much the whole year. That's why it was so shocking when he started off the season like 0 for 16, 0 for 17, but he's been able to battle back. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off towards third base. Now in the count 0-2 from Evans to Arraez. And again, if we can end up having Logan Evans give up 3 runs or less, again, we're going to have a very good chance not only to win this game, but a good potential chance to win the series. If, we can hold them to 3 or less, the bullpen plays well and doesn't shit the bed. And if we can get an opening, series win, that would be huge for the Seattle Mariners, considering we got swept by the Padres, the Blue Jays, right? And a little blooper by Arraez right in front of Randy Arozarena and in front of Big Ben Williamson. Runners at first and second now with no outs. We have to be very cautious now. Next up, third baseman Manny Machado. Oh, that's fire. I like that. It's a dope shirt, double E. First pitch to Machado, low and away with the sweeper, 83 miles an hour from Logan Evans, 1-0 count. Bottom of the third, runners at first and second with no outs. Double E, did you get a chance to use the information that I sent you and the DM to watch the game? You got the game on, right? You're good to go? Takes a strike looking with that cutter from Logan Evans. 1 ball and 1 strike from Evans to Machado. 1-1 pitch, dribbler up the middle. JP, double play. Throw to first, got him. Wow. Unbelievable play for JP Crawford after missing a ground ball early on by Fernando Tatis Jr. He says, hell no, I ain't missing this one. Good toe tap, has to hurdle the fucking runner, sliding into second, and then a great throw to first. Great vision, and Arraez tries to get in the way, but still gets the ball to Rowdy Tellez with even a step and a half to go. Beautiful fucking play by JP Crawford. Way to be, JP. Holy cow. That's what I'm talking about. And now Cal and Logan Evans walking it over. But again, that's what was so shocking that JP missed that early ground ball by Tatis. It looked like kind of a routine play. But again, he made up for it right there with a huge double play that he definitely, could have. I'm not saying could have took the play off to first, but, anytime you're running full speed to second, you run the risk of getting, kind of collided into. And Arraez was coming in full speed at second, but nothing dirty. And JP was able to make that double play. Great job. Next up, one of the best up-and-coming players in baseball, center fielder for the San Diego Padres, Jackson Merrill. First pitch, low and at the knees with a cutter, 88 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Let's go, Logan. Cutter, chop foul, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Evans to Merrill. Bottom of the third inning with a runner at third with 2 out, 1-0 Mariner lead here on Apple TV+. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 50 likes here within the first hour and a half. And then obviously we shoot for 100 in the donos, and every stream we're at 10, 90 to go. Pitch fouled off, high and away in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs with a runner at third. Bottom of the third, 1-0 Seattle. Let's go, baby. And Merrill strikes out swinging. Wow. Logan Evans, again, this is completely the opposite of what we saw him on his road start. You know, he's had 2 starts at home, Logan Evans, where he looked great. And then he had a road start where he looked terrible. And then today, he's looking like he did at home. And a big swing and a miss there for Jackson Merrill. And Logan Evans coming up scoreless within the first 3 innings. Pretty unbelievable. But again, it shows how deep the Mariners pitching is. You know, and again, the bullpen could be better. And again, we got a lot of prospects on the farm as well. But a great start for Logan Evans. Nice job, considering he is a AAA pitcher. All right, let's see who's up next here in the top of the 4th for the Seattle Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, 1-for-1 center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Tridents up, baby. Keep it going. We need you. On deck, big dumper catcher, Cal Raleigh. Tridents up. Let's go, Big Cal. And batting third, 0-for-1 left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Tridents up. We're waiting, man. You've been very streaky. You've been getting hit by a lot of pitchers. You've been taking walks, but I would love to be able to see him go yard some point in this series. Come on, Randy. We might have to wait him to go yard when we play the White Sox and whatnot coming up next. But, you know, again, this will be the toughest series that we have for the foreseeable future. You know, even though, you know, the White Sox are playing better, you know, since the Pope ended up, you know, getting into that new position, obviously being from the Chicago area, White Sox are doing much better since the Pope got the position. So I don't think the, you know, overall, like, oh, we're just going to go in and play the White Sox and sweep them. We're going to have to earn it, you know, and they're not as bad as they were last year. This year's White Sox is the Rockies. So again, we're still going to have to play up, you know, to the level of competition that we're used to. Like in this series, we can't play down to them. And if we do, you know, bad things could happen for sure. Then we got the Astros in a 4-game set. And then after that, the Twins. So I'm definitely excited to see what we can do here. And so far, the bats, we're able to get a few base knocks. JP with an early homer on the first pitch of the game. And let's see what we can get here with Julio Rodriguez in the box, who's actually having a fantastic May compared to his March and April. Judah in the building. What's good, brother? Yeah, but OKC has Game 7 at home. And so if you got the home court advantage in Game 7, you're going to win. You know, consciously or subconsciously, the refs are going to call the game pro Thunder, whether they need it or not. And again, you know, the Joker can end up having a huge game, 30, 15, and 15, but it won't be enough. Pitches outside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Kolek Julio. And again, Stephen Kolek, a reliever turned starter, 2-0 record with an ERA of 0.00 coming in. And Julio pops up. Should be a routine play there at first. Luis Ariz is there and says, see ya. 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, our MVP candidate. Top 5 MVP candidate so far. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. He brings leadership for all the pitchers. He's a great defender. He's a switch hitter who can hit homers from the left and the right. And, you know, a lot of times people think it's Julio's team, but it really isn't. It's this guy right here, Cal Raleigh. It's his team moving forward. Pitches outside on a 4-seam fastball. 1-0 count from Kolek to big dumper. 1-0 pitch. Right down the pipe. Tries to jam him. And that one is fading foul. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kolek to big dumper Cal Raleigh off that cutter. 90 miles an hour. Let's go, Cal. Yeah, West is definitely more competitive than the East. And again, I really felt that if Boston had discipline with their coaching and didn't have 30, 40, 50, 60 fucking attempts every game, that they could have won the series and they could have, won the East. But again, if you have a bad coach that doesn't recognize what you need to do to win, to shoot jumpers and attack the paint and slow the game down, then we're going to get Knicks Pacers. But unfortunately, neither of those teams will be able to hang with the Thunder once they beat the Nuggets in Game 7 and then beat the T-Wolves. Really, the action is in the East. No, it's in the West. And it's not like the Knicks and the Pacers are garbage. But again, if the Nuggets ended up representing the West or the T-Wolves or the Thunder, all three of those teams would win the championship. The West is winning. Again, no disrespect to the Knicks or the Pacers, but they're not on the same level. They have fun teams and they're good, but they're not on the elite status like the other teams on the other side. And Cal forces a walk. Nice eye by Cal. Seitzer and Edgar Martinez are doing a great job with our guys in the box. Really, the only team that would have a chance, Knicks and Pacers, is if somehow, some way, the T-Wolves represented the West. But even with that being said, I don't know if they would be able to beat Ant in a 7-game series. That guy is phenomenal. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch. Fouled off with that sweeper. 0-1 count. Or is taking a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Fouls that one off. Fading towards first base. Now behind in the count 0-2 from Kolek to Randy. Let's go, Randy. Trident's up. O2 pitch. And big swing and a miss. I wouldn't mind, Demo taking his spot. And then, Leo Rivas taking Master Boni's spot at second. You gotta flip up the lineup a little bit, instead of just being content with the same guys there. Randy hasn't really earned the right to be out there all the time. Even though he's a big name, his production isn't very good. Next up, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. Let's go, Rowdy. Yeah, it does feel like OKC Denver is the real finals. And that's what happens sometimes in football, right? Where we watch the AFC championship game where it's like Bills Chiefs or we're watching the NFC championship game. And it feels like that is actually the Super Bowl. And sometimes the NFC, AFC championship games are better than the Super Bowl. A lot of times we get let down in the Super Bowl because it ends up being a blowout. Tellez. Back. See ya! Rowdy Tellez. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yes, sir. Tellez with a 2-run jack, 408 feet. Cal Raleigh on base scores 3-0 Mariners. Sorry, Double E. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm fucking talking about. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Rowdy Tellez. The bats are coming alive. And again, we're mad. We got swept by the fucking Blue Jays, right? We only won 1 game out of 3 against the Yankees where we should have won 2 out of 3. And unfortunately, we're taking it out on Double E's San Diego Padres. Next up is Leody Taveras. First pitch fouled off. 0-1 count from Kolek to Taveras. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off again with a 4-seam fastball. Now behind in the count 0-2. Come on, Leody. Let's go. Ana. Buenos dias. Buenos tardes. Buenos noches. Vamos, maneros. Anna in the building. Yes, sir. Pitches outside with the changeup from Kolek to Taveras. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 4th, 3-0 Mariner lead. First pitch of the game, J.P. Crawford homer to right, 1-0 Mariners. And Rowdy Tellez with a 2-run jack with Cal Raleigh aboard with the walk, taking it 3-0 Mariners. And again, when the Mariners are hot, you'll know it. And when we're struggling, you're going to know it. But it feels like we're back. And I like what I see so far here. 2-2 pitch, fouled off with the changeup. Well, considering I have a scoreboard, on the screen itself, I think most people would be able to see above my head. It does show 3-0 Mariners, but for whatever reason, if you're blind and you can't see and you're reading the Braille, 3-0 Mariners. That one fouled off again. I've always found that kind of odd when people ask what the score is when they come to the stream when the scoreboard is literally right above. But, I guess that's on Vincent, not me. Top of the fourth, 3-0 Seattle. Nobody on with 2 outs. 3-2 pitch. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with nobody on. Kolek on the mound. Taveras in the box. Let's go Mariners. Let's go. Vamos, Maneros. And that's a big swing and a miss. And Taveras strikes out swinging, but guess what? That's all right. Because again, the bats have come alive. And down low goes Leote. Nice punch out there by Stephen Kolek. We'll give him some love right there with the punch out. We're not haters here. Nice job. But again, the damage is done. We got a walk for Cal Raleigh. And then 2 batters later, Rowdy Tellez says, see ya! 3-0 Mariners. Let's go. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning and see who's up next for the Padres. But based on how we lost to the Blue Jays and got swept after winning 2 out of 3 in Toronto and getting swept at home, I think we just got too comfortable, and then the Yankees came in, and you know how good the Yankees are. And again, it's like, if you play well, you can win 2 out of 3, but no one was going to sweep, each other in that series. But that last game, game 3, giving up the homer, to Goldschmidt from Gabe's Spire, who normally is reliable, but has been shaky lately. And then Carlos Vargas coming in, giving up that homer to Aaron Judge, and then it was done. So again, you got to have good starting pitching, but you got to have a good bullpen. And that's one thing that's been the bugaboo for the Mariners, besides injuries, is the bullpen. It's like we trust Matt Brash and Andres Munoz, and that's about it. Next up for the Padres, 0 for 1 in the 5-hole, Xander Bogaerts. Batting second in the 6-hole, DHing Gavin Sheets. And batting third, 0 for 1, second baseman, the Crone Zone, Jake Cronenworth. Let's go Mariners. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're trying to shoot for 50 likes here. We just broke the 1 hour mark. Where are we at on the likes right now? We got 73 people in the room, so getting to 50 should be pretty easy. Where are we at? Looks like we're at 33, so at least half of the people in the room haven't done it yet. Do your boy a solid. Again, if you don't want to talk in the chat and if you can't donate, that's fine. But at least do your boy a solid and hit the thumb on the like so that way we can get into the algorithm and we can get more people here into the stream. Bogaerts on the 0-1 pitch, lines out to Julio Rodriguez. No fly zone, 1 away. Down goes Bogaerts. Next up for the Padres, DHing Gavin Sheets. 7 away from 40. Let's go. 17 away from 50. And nice defense out there in the no-fly zone by Julio Rodriguez. First pitch is low and away to Gavin Sheets. 1-0 count. Keep playing some great defense out there, Julio. Logan Evans on the mound. Gavin Sheets in the box. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking with the cutter. 1 ball and 1 strike from Evans to Sheets. Rips it to first. Rowdy Tellez taps on the bag. 1 away. No. 2 away. Next up, second baseman, the Crone Zone, Jake Cronenworth. 0 for 1. Logan Evans is pitching a masterpiece, considering he's got an ERA of 6.60 and he's a AAA pitcher. Especially with this Padre lineup, with stars all around. Tatis, Arise, Machado, Jackson Merrill, Bogarts, Crone Zone. I mean, this is ridiculous. Go M's. Takes a strike looking on that first pitch. 0-1 pitch outside with the changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Crone Zone on a 1-1 pitch all the way back to the right field wall. Leody Taveras fucking hustle. He's going for 3. He's going for 3. And a weak throw into J.P. Crawford. And Jake Cronenworth going in for a infield single for a triple. What hustle. I wish I could see some of the Mariner players hustle like that. Great job by the Crone Zone, Drake Cronenworth. Anytime anyone gets a triple, I don't care if it's on our team or not, that was awesome. Next up, catcher for the Padres, Elias Diaz. Four likes to 50, Captain. We're almost there. I mean, we might be able to hit 75 likes, before the stream ends, if we continue to keep getting people. All right, bottom of the fourth, 3-0 Mariners. If you're just tuning in, J.P. Crawford homered on the first pitch of the game to right, 357 feet off Kolek, 1-0 Mariners. And then Rowdy Tellez just did a 2-run jack about 3 minutes ago with Cal Raleigh being walked, and it is now 3-0 Seattle. But Jake Cronenworth with a nice infield single for a triple. Let's see if they can knock him in. 2-0 pitch. Oh, Diaz pops up, and we're going to get out of the inning. Oh, Julio is there, and the no-fly zone strikes again. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Great defense, great offense, and holding them to limited damage. The triple was great, but again, you have to be able to knock them in, and great defense there by the Mariners. End of the fourth inning, 3-0 Seattle. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, second baseman 0 for 1, Miles Mastrobuoni. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, third baseman Ben Williamson. And we need Ben to heat up. As soon as he came up from AAA, he was hot. Then he ended up having some back spasms, and then he cooled off a little bit. But I think I'm ready for him to get hot again. He's great at defense. He's got a laser rocket arm. And again, he's got really good baseball IQ for a AAA player. And it's the best third baseman we've had since Good Vibes Only, Eugenio Suarez. He should be our everyday third baseman for the next 5 to 10 years. Let's go, Big Ben. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI, the guy that got it all started, J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. Let's bring that electricity, baby. Let's go. We're bringing that energy. And again, we needed it. If there was any team that needed to be able to have a strong start, after getting beat up by the Blue Jays and the Yankees, it's definitely us. And that's why I don't fear good teams. I like playing the elite teams to see how we stack up. This isn't the Seattle Mariner team from the last 4 or 5 years, even though we did make the playoffs in 2022. This is the best team that we've had top to bottom since 2001. And we're probably the most banged up team in baseball besides the Braves. But once our guys get healthy, watch out. Things are really going to turn around. First pitch from Kolek to Mastrobuoni. Takes a strike looking with a sinker, 92 miles an hour. 0-1 count. Top of the fifth, 3-0 Seattle. Oh, 1 pitch from Kolek to Mastroboni. Mastroboni, dribbler, chops it foul. Behind in the count now, 0-2. Top of the fifth, Seattle Mariners with a nice 3-0 lead. But again, that doesn't mean anything if the bullpen comes in and starts giving up homers. And again, bullpen has been very concerning in 2025. Pitches outside with the sweeper by Kolek. 81 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Kolek to Mastroboni. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Mastroboni. Nice punch out there by Kolek, and we'll give him some love. We're not haters here. We make sure we, give the proper, due diligence and the proper love, even if it ends up being the opposing team. Nice punch out there by Kolek. Next up, third baseman Ben Williamson. Let's go, Big Ben. Bring that electricity, baby. First pitch is outside with the sinker, 94 miles an hour from Kolek to Williamson, 1-0 count. 232 average, 1 homer, 11 ribbies with a 560 OPS. 0 for 1 with a strikeout with his first at bat. See if he can get a nice infield single. Would be great just to kind of get going. He's not really a home run hitter. It's just a guy that's more of a contact hitter and a great defender at third. There we go. A little bloop single, baby. Just like I said. There we go. My ESP is on, baby. There we go. And sometimes you got to talk it into existence. There we go. Nice base knock. Little infield single to Ben Williamson. Nice job. Next up, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI. Let's see if J.P. can get on. 40 likes. Thank you, Captain. You're doing great. Let's see if we can get to 50. We're at 1 hour and 11 minutes in. So by an hour and a half, we should be able to get to 50. JP, little slow dribbler, and almost missed the bag right there. They were trying to go for a double play, but a little slow flip, and he wanted to make sure that he at least tapped the bag. So runner at first, JP Crawford will be safe, but unfortunate that wasn't able to go into the outfield there. It was a bang-bang play. Williamson out at second with the fielder's choice. Next up, DHing for the Mariners, 1 for 2, Jorge Polanco. First pitch to Polo, low and away with the sweeper, 81 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, and chopper up the middle, and a routine play. Bogarts to Luis Ariz, and we've seen that play in that same location about 7-8 times already today. Great defense there by the Padres, holding us to nothing in that inning. 3-0 Seattle. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning and see who's up next for San Diego. Next up for the Padres, 0 for 1, left fielder Brandon Lockridge. Batting second, back at the top of the order, 1 for 2, right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. And batting third, first baseman, 2 for 2, Luis Ariz, the modern day Ichiro Suzuki. What a stud. And looks like we're only 8 subs away from 20,800. So shout out to all the new subs that we've gotten today, last week, in the last month, as well as everybody in 2025, and all the people that have been with me for years and years and years. Anyone that has liked, sub, donated, commented, shared, on any video, thank you so much. And again, this is going to be a big year for us, and I appreciate everyone that's in the room showing all the love. And we're already at 1,100 on the stream already. Yeah, but again, what did I say? I said modern day Ichiro. And yeah, Ichiro is definitely a special hitter, but every once in a while, you do get a player that ends up, being a little bit better than others at hitting. The Pete Rose, the Charlie Hustle, the Rod Carew, the Tony Gwynn, the Ichiro. But now those guys are no longer playing, or some are passed away. So if you actually have to look at a hitter, that typically can bat 300 to 400 almost for a whole complete season, there's really only one guy that's been able to do that in the last 4, 5, 6 years, also on different teams, and that's Luis Arraez. So if you end up doing your due diligence and you actually look it up, you'll see what I'm saying. But I don't say things just to say things. Everything is researched, everything is watched, everything is done by film and by studying. And if you go and look to see what Arraez has been able to do, Ichiro is definitely a one of one. But if there was a player that hits kind of like him pretty frequently and often, it is Luis Arraez. First pitch, low and away from Evans to Lockridge, 1-0 count. I mean, I might be a Mariner fan, but I'm a fan of the sport in general, just like anything I do. We don't shit on other players on opposing teams. If they're good, and we need to give them the credit. Other streams won't do that. They'll pretty much just do it based on whoever they're rooting for, and they shit on everyone else, even when they make good plays. But you won't get that here. I'm always going to showcase, the great players from the opposing teams. And it doesn't matter if we're doing baseball, basketball, football, hockey, NASCAR, WWE, it'll always be that way. Next up is Fernando Tatis Jr. after that dribbler. First swing and a miss there from Tatis. Behind in the count now 0-1, bottom of the fifth, 3-0 Mariners. Evans on the mound, wheeling and dealing, kicking ass and taking names. Sweeper fouled off, behind in the count now 0-2. Pitches low and away with the sweeper. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Fernando Tatis Jr. 1 out and nobody on in the bottom of the fifth. Yeah, I got some Ichiro autographs and Ichiro rookie cards. It's a good investment. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Tatis Jr. from Logan Evans. Unbelievable. This AAA pitcher is kicking ass and taking names. Nice job, Logan. Way to bring that electricity. Not bad for a guy that's got an ERA of 6.60, making these Padre hitters look silly. Next up, first baseman Luis Arraez. First pitch to Arraez with a sweeper, taking a strike looking from Evans, 0-1 count. Yeah, I mean, I'm half Japanese myself, so of course, I'm a big Ichiro guy. I'm a big Shohei Ohtani guy, but I'm not gonna, just act like those guys are so much better than everybody else, or if there is some things, that maybe they shouldn't have done, like with Shohei Ohtani and the gambling, we're not gonna just let that slide. It's like, I want him to do well, Shohei Ohtani, but let's not kid ourselves. He definitely was gambling. In play, and a nice hit by Luis Arraez, and just making my point, come across firm as usual, talking about, Luis Arraez, he's not that good. Well, he's 3 for 3 in this game. And again, there's not many guys that can bat 300 to 400 for a whole season. And even Arraez started off the season like 0 for 16, 0 for 17, but was able to climb all the way up to 300 as we speak. 3 for 3 today. My point exactly. Next up is Manny Machado. First pitch to Machado, taking a strike, looking with a cutter, high and in the zone, 0-1 count. Bottom of the fifth, 3-0 Seattle. Runner at second with 2 outs. Evans on the mound, Machado in the box. Check swing, did he go? And he did. Behind in the count now, 0-2. And it's kind of sad, with the writers and the people that vote that are racist.
and whatnot, or have something against someone that's, not Caucasian or Dominican or African American, just to kind of hate on Ichiro based off his race. Whether it be someone, that is like a Yankee fan, or, someone that is a rival of the Mariners, Astros or Rangers or whatever it may be. But it's just kind of crazy to think that Mariano Rivera is the only one that went in with 100% vote. Derek Jeter should have, Ken Griffey Jr. should have, and Ichiro should have, and it's kind of sad when, stuff like that, ends up coming into play, but again, that's just something that we're going to have to deal with in life. It's like racism is never going to end. Sexism is never going to end. It's always going to be that way. Pitches low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But like the people that have something against Jeter, Griffey Jr., and Ichiro, it's ridiculous. Those guys should been in the Hall of Fame 100%. There shouldn't be anyone that didn't vote them in. Obviously it's a grudge, or some type of personal racism towards those guys. Throw to first and got him. There we go. We get end of the 5th inning. Mariners playing some great defense. Let's see who's up next here for Julio. Next up, 1 for 2. Center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a run and a base on ball. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Go to the top of the 6th. Mariners dominating 3-0. Now, we don't claim Alex Rodriguez in the Pacific Northwest. We don't claim anyone that's money hungry, that cheats and does PEDs and steroids. Alex Rodriguez might have been on the Mariners, but that's the only good player that we will never claim. He can, be with the Rangers and the Yankees and all them, We don't condone any cheating here in the Pacific Northwest. That's the only all-star that we don't claim. We'll claim Randy Johnson. We'll claim Ken Griffey Jr. We'll claim Edgar Martinez. We'll claim Ichiro. But fuck A-Rod. Yeah, well, especially if he's got an elbow and a back issue, captain. Bryce Miller, normally is a good player. But again, if it's me, and when we get Logan Gilbert and George Kirby back, Logan Gilbert 1, George Kirby 2, Brian Wu 3, Luis Castillo 4, and then between Bryce Miller, Emerson Hancock, and Logan Evans, I'm going Logan Evans. I feel like, he had 2 good starts at home. He had 1 start on the road where he got rocked, and now he has another good start here on the road. So it's pretty clear that Logan Evans, as far as right now Bryce Miller has the history of being a guy that deserves to be in the starting 5. But if we're just talking about 2025, who gives us the best chance this year? It's going to be Logan Evans. And, I know they're going to give Bryce another shot, but if Logan Evans' stats are better, you're going to be hurting the team by not playing him instead of, Bryce Miller, but we'll see. There's always going to be politics involved, but, again, it's like also with me, Randy Arozarena should be benched once in a while, put Demo at left field, and instead of having Mastroboni at second, let's have Leo Rivas. Sometimes name recognition, it's one of those things where they like to keep a guy there because he's popular, like he was on the Tampa Bay Rays. Nice single right up the middle by Julio, and Julio has been very hot in May. I love seeing that, but sometimes you got to mix it up. We get it. You were a big name on the Tampa Bay Rays, but you're not very good. You don't really hustle that often, running to first, in the outfield, you're probably the worst defender that we have, on the team. And again, like, it's nice when you're hitting, but when you're not playing defense and you're not hustling and you're not hitting, let's give someone else a shot that might actually play a little bit better, that has better stats. And I know they're not going to do that, but if it was me and I was managing, I would put Randy on the bench for a couple games and let like Demo in left. So that way he doesn't have to play second. And then I would go Leo Rivas at second instead of Mastroboni because Leo's better. And Dylan Moore would give you more production in left field than you would with Randy. And I know Randy is an everyday left fielder, but that doesn't mean Dylan Moore can't play that position and get you more in the box, in my opinion. So, everyone will go through hot streaks and cold streaks, but you got to adjust. You just can't keep guys where they're at because of their name. Cal popped up, back. See ya! Let's go, baby. You know what it is. Trident's up. 2-run jack by big dumper Cal Raleigh. Oh, baby. Sorry, Double E. Cal Raleigh. Let's go, baby. Woo! Let's go, baby. JP Crawford with a homer. Rowdy Tellez with a 2-run jack. Cal Raleigh with a 2-run jack. 5-0 Mariners. Trident's up, baby. Let's go. 14 homers for the top 5 MVP candidate at catcher, Cal Raleigh. Now I know what it feels like to have like a Pudge Rodriguez on your team. A guy that really does it all. And again, there hasn't been a lot of guys since Pudge. We saw like an undersized catcher in Buster Posey, who was good for the Giants in their run, in 2010, 2012, 2014, winning World Series every 2 years apart. But I think like the closest comparison, would be like a Mike Piazza, from back in the day, and then like a Pudge, a little bit thicker, a little bit bigger, but Cal gives you that leadership and that switch hitting. And now we have Randy Arozarena up, and let's see if Randy can add on to what we're doing here. Little dribbler towards third base, throw to first, and not even close. But what a great bare hand attempt there by Manny Machado. That guy is phenomenal. I mean, obviously, just to be able to pick it up with the fingers, you got to have strong fingers and a strong hand to do that. But throw was not even close, and a nice base knock there by Randy Arozarena. Next up, 1 for 2 with a run and 2 RBIs, a 2-run jack in the top of the 4th to make it 3-0. Can he do it again? First baseman, Rowdy Tellez. Let's fucking go. Let's go, baby. And that is it for Stephen Kolek. Came into the game as a relief pitcher turned starter. 2-0 record with an ERA of 0.00 coming into the game, but now leaving the game. Let's see what it is. 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks, gave up 3 homers, and his ERA now is 2.33. I thought it would be much higher than that, but at least that, at least it didn't go up to a higher number than what it was. And then they're going to be bringing in Peralta in relief. Nice job, Cal. You're the fucking man. He can get you base knocks, and he can get you fucking home runs. Trident's up. Best player on the Seattle Mariners. You're looking at him right there. Everyone wants to say, it's Julio's team. It's Julio's team. Julio's great, and we're going to need him and Cal, to be like a tag team. They're going to have to do it together. And, again, when they both are on, it's really hard to stop us. But, again, sometimes those players, it takes a little time, to kind of get on the same page, especially Julio. March and April, he always starts slow. But then from June to September, he gets very, very hot. And hopefully we'll be talking about October this year as well. Top of the 6th, 5-0 Mariners. Let's go, baby. Oh, Double E says throw in the towel. The Vetter Cup. Yeah, San Diego ain't winning this game. And Double E knows it too. First pitch to Donovan Solano. They're actually having guys pinch hit now. But again, it's a 3-game series, so we'll see where it goes. They have Solano. So why are we having... Okay, you have Solano pinch hitting for Tellez, right? Because you brought in a lefty. But in my opinion, if a guy just hit a home run earlier in the game, it shouldn't matter if it's a lefty or a righty. Let him try. Why? I mean, I get it. We're up 5-0, so we have a little cushion, you know, but Donovan Solano fucking sucks. Like, you know, make it make sense. I still don't believe that bringing in a right-handed hitter against a left-handed pitcher when he sucks compared to a guy that hit a home run early in the game and is a lefty. You're telling me a lefty on a lefty can't happen? In play. And down goes Donovan Solano, 1 away. But I don't know. I think that's one of the dumbest things in baseball where they just automatically, you know, switch out a guy, you know, that normally isn't a good player. And, you know, just because he's a right-handed hitter and they brought in a left-handed pitcher, like, roll the dice with a good hitter and go left on left. It's like, are you telling me that you've never seen, you know, Barry Bonds or Ken Griffey Jr. or any of those guys hit homers off left-handed pitching? Like, you know, lefties can hit off lefties, righties can hit off righties. You know, who made the rule that left-handed pitching can only have right-handed batters, and those are the only guys that can hit homers off those guys? Or if you got a right-handed pitcher, only the lefties can hit homers off those guys. Like, that's some dumb fucking mentality, you know, for baseball. That definitely needs a change. Yeah, Solano is our worst player on the team. He's terrible. You can have him back for a bag of Cheetos if you want. He stinks. I mean, I'd rather have him go down to AAA and bring up Tyler Locklear. But Solano is terrible. You can have him back for free. Next up is Leody Taveras. 0-2 pitch from Peralta to Taveras. High and away with the sinker. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Leody. In play, little dribbler, double play, tap at second, throw to first, and runner at first is safe. Fielder's choice with a run out, and Arozarena out at second. Taveras safe at first. And how about we substitute Miles Mastroboni for Leo Rivas if you're going to have Tellez go out, or now we're going to have Dylan Moore. Okay, good. All right, Demo's coming in. All right, pinch hitting for Miles Mastroboni, Dylan Moore, who should be an everyday player like Leo Rivas. They're already having a mound visit. Let's go, Demo. First pitch, low and inside with the changeup. 1-0 count. Takes a strike swinging with the changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike from Peralta to Demo. One pitch and a little dribbler into right field. Nice job, Demo. Tatis with a little bobble there. Nice pinch hit single by Demo. Next up is Ben Williamson. First pitch, takes a strike looking. 0-1 count. Top of the sixth, runners at first and second with 2 outs. 5-0, Seattle Mariner lead. Yeah, but when you start off the year and you're batting .50, you know, it's not working. You know, he started off the year 4 for 40, and he's definitely the worst player on the team. Like, hands down, him and Trent Thornton. So, like, he shouldn't even be playing if we're really being honest. Like, you know, I'd rather have a guy from AAA play over him. That's how bad he is. You know, it was good that he was working out for you guys, you know, with the roster that you guys had, but he's definitely not a fit for us. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging, low and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes as he steps off the mound. And down goes Big Ben Williamson, striking out, swinging. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning and see if Double E can get some production here out of the Padres. Nice job by Dylan Moore, getting a nice little base knock in limited action. All right, let's look at Logan Evans' numbers. They're ridiculous. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 2 Ks, 68 pitches, 45 strikes, 2.70 ERA, when his ERA coming into the game was 6.60. So, again, nice to see another Seattle Mariner pitcher, you know, finding his way. And even though he's a AAA pitcher, you know, if Bryce Miller isn't careful, you're going to get your job taken, my guy. Nice job by Logan Evans. And he's getting run support on top of that too. So now obviously, you know, you would want more Ks, but you know, for a guy that is a AAA pitcher, you're giving up some hits there. You're not giving up any walks. You know, you're not wild. You only have 2 Ks. You would like for him to have in that 5 to 6 range at this point, but you're getting a lot of easy outs. But the main thing is bringing your ERA down 4 in just this game, 6.60 to 2.70. And he still has an opportunity to get it even lower here in the bottom of the 6th. And how many pitches is he at? He's only at 68 pitches. So he could technically go even longer, but we will see. You know, our bullpen has been a little shaky. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Captain says we're only 9 away from 50. Takes 1 second to do it, baby. Let's get there. And we're at 10 on the dono train, 90 to go. Captain, you're the man. Appreciate you. Next up for the Padres, center fielder, 0 for 2 with a K, Jackson Merrill. Batting second, shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. And batting third, DHing Gavin Sheets. Let's go Mariners. Yeah, Solano was a good hitter for you. 280 average, but just, you know, not a good fit here. First pitch to Jackson Merrill with a cutter, high and inside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking with the cutter, high and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike from Evans to Merrill. 1-1 pitch, high and outside with the curve, 2 balls and 1 strike to Jackson Merrill. That one chopped foul with the sweeper. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. We're in the bottom of the 6th, 5-0 Mariner lead. And this Mariner lead in this Mariner game today, it feels like this is the team that ended up winning in that 9 consecutive series wins. This is the type of performance that we would put up. We weren't intimidated by anybody, even though if they had a better record than us. The Padres are a very good team, 27-15, right? Second place in the division behind the Dodgers and ahead of the Giants, 16-5 at home. So this will only be the 6th loss if we can hang on all year, which is impressive. Merrill grounds out to second, throw to first, got him. Down goes Jackson Merrill. Yeah, if we spent money like the Padres did, can you imagine how good Seattle would be? Next up, shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. 0 for 2. Let's see if he can get his first hit of the night. I mean, based on how good Logan has been pitching today, yeah, and we have a 5-0 lead, let him go. But if it gets to a point where there's 2 guys on with hits or with walks with no outs, then you pull him. Because we always know if you end up letting a guy stay on with 2 guys on and no outs, it's going to be a disaster. It'll lead to hits, RBIs, home runs, and all of a sudden that lead will evaporate. Just like when we saw Emerson Hancock in that situation. Dan Wilson fucked him there. So pitch is low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out and nobody on. Logan Evans pitching like a fucking G. Young can't play first base. That's not his natural position. He's more of like a, second base, shortstop kind of guy. He can't play first or third. And then obviously Harry Ford is, a catcher. And then you could always have him be a backup DH to Polo or something. And Bogaerts walks with the pitch inside. But again, we got, Lazaro Montes, Felton Celestin, Cole Young, Colt Emerson, Harry Ford, Durangelo, the switch pitcher that can pitch left-handed and right-handed. And that's not everybody. You got guys that have been up and down like Tyler Locklear, who also could be, filling in, for a Donovan Solano, and we could get more production for him. So next up is Gavin Sheets. Gavin Sheets 1 for 2. First pitch. Takes a strike looking in the zone with that sweeper. 92 miles an hour. No. 82 miles an hour. 0-1 count. Big swing and a miss on that changeup. Behind in the count now 0-2. Fantastic performance by Logan Evans, and I think he, has solidified, his spot over Emerson Hancock and Bryce Miller. I mean, just think about that. You can get this this could be our new Brian Wu at the 5, so then you got, Logan Gilbert healthy, George Kirby playing for the first time in 2025, Brian Wu playing like an all-star, Luis Castillo playing like he did when we first got him from the Reds in 2022, and then now Logan Evans as the 5 over Bryce Miller and Emerson Hancock. I mean, scary to think how good we can be. Pitch is low and into the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Evans to Sheets. And there's something about the goggles, even though they're not prescription, he wears them because he got hit in the nose and in the eye a couple times, in the farm system, an early part in his career, growing up, so that's why he wears them. And I kind of like the look, you don't see pitchers that wear glasses that often, and got him. Big swing and a miss. Nice job by Logan Evans, baby. Way to bring it, my guy. I'm liking the goggles, baby. It's a nice signature look. Not a lot of people wear them. Next up, it's the Crone Zone. Jake Cronenworth. First pitch from Evans to Cronenworth, low and in the zone, taking a strike looking with the changeup. 85 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Highlight today for the Padres was a single hit into right field, that Crone Zone. Jake Cronenworth made a hit go from a double to a triple. And again, they weren't able to get an RBI to knock him in, but great effort by Jake Cronenworth. Gabriel in the building. What's good, brother? Pitches inside with that curve. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And if we had any chance of winning this series, we had to win game 1. And again, it's not over. We have to see what kind of bullpen performance that we're going to bring in, because a lot of our guys, Colin Snyder, Legomina, Vargas, Bizzardo, are not trustworthy. Even Gabe Spire is not trustworthy anymore. Really, it's like Matt Brash, as one guy that we trust, and then Andres Munoz as a closer. That's it. So out of like 8-9 guys in the pen, and I trust 2, the closer and Matt Brash, who's coming off Tommy John. I don't really trust anybody else. Everyone else can be, average, but again, Gabe Spire should be a guy that we trust. But in the last 4 or 5 chances, he's given up home runs or big RBIs. And, again, even though I like him, I can't trust him. We have to be honest. Can't give a guy a free pass just because we like him overall. That one chopped foul with the 4-seam fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs with a runner at first. Bottom of the 6th, 5-0, Mariner lead. Buenos dias, buenos noches, buenos tardes. Vamos, Maneros. Chopper, right past Logan. JP, and a force out to second. There we go. 6 scoreless innings by our guy Logan Evans, who's a AAA pitcher. We love it, baby. Next up for the Mariners here in the top of the 7th, 1 for 3 with a run and an RBI. Shortstop J.P. Crawford. First pitch of the game, see ya! Making it 1-0 Seattle. Batting second, 1 for 3, DHing Jorge Polanco. Let's go Polo. And batting third, a guy that's been uber hot in May, center fielder, no fly zone, Julio Rodriguez. Tridents up, baby. First pitch to J.P. Crawford, taking a strike, looking with the slider. 86 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Vamos, Maneros. In play. And J.P. Crawford with a dribbler. 4 to first, safe. I don't know what it is, Double E, but the Mariners have your number for whatever reason. And again, I'm never afraid. When we play the elite teams, it's always a challenge, but everything is on the up and up for us. And again, there are at least 2 more games in the series. We'll see how those play out. But we do have Brian Wu in the last game, so you guys better win tomorrow if you're going to win. If not, and we win today and we win tomorrow, we're not losing with Brian Wu on the mound. So Wu has been electric this year, should be an all-star. Infield single there by J.P. Crawford. And pinch hitting for Jorge Polanco is Mitch Garver. Let's go, Mitch. 203 average, 1 homer, 6 ribbies. The backup catcher, obviously a guy that struggled mightily with Polo last season, but Polo turned it around, and Garver still isn't really where he needs to be, but he has come up with some clutch hits this year when we needed him, especially when he's pinched hit for Polo. And normally we're like, no, but again, when you end up bringing in a left-handed pitcher, then sometimes things need to change. And bringing in Solano, and bringing in Mitch Garver just because they're righties going against a lefty, it doesn't make any sense. But we have a 5-0 lead, so it is what it is. Yeah. I think the Nintendo patch and the Nintendo Switch patch, they're not really they're a little bit too big and overbearing, but they're good luck for us. The Nintendo patches have been our good luck charm this year. And again, it's not like we're the only team that has these, random patches, on the jerseys. Force out to second, double play attempt, and safe at first. Yeah, Wu played great against the Yankees, and on my birthday, he had a one-hitter. So, again, if we're looking at who should be, an all-star player this year, Brian Wu, obviously Andres Munoz, Cal Raleigh. We'll see how good Julio does from now until that point. And then obviously Jorge Polanco at a time or another early in the year, even though he doesn't have probably enough at-bats to qualify, has played like an all-star this year as well. But, Dan Wilson should be the manager, and we should have at least a minimum of 3 Mariners in the all-star game this year. Facts. 8 likes to 50. Let's get there. We got plenty of people in the room to do that. Top of the 7th, another pitching change by the Padres, 5-0 Seattle. Next up for the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, baby. Let's go, J-Rod. I mean, it is possible, for Brian Wu to have an off game. But, I mean, if we're really being honest, even compared to even when Logan Gilbert, when he was pitching, Wu has been our best pitcher. Even if Gilbert never got hurt, I still think Wu would have been slightly better. I think Gilbert would have been right there with him, but, you don't really know, especially when he got hurt, right? Because if he would have played through the pain like Bryce Miller did, maybe Gilbert would have had a couple bad outings and his losses would have stacked up, his ERA would have went up. But, we just have to hope that when Logan Gilbert comes back, as well as George Kirby making his debut in 2025, they don't re-aggravate any of the injuries. And then hopefully Bryce Miller's elbow and back, as well as his mentals, will be, on the up and up. But obviously seeing, Logan Evans doing this well probably isn't the greatest thing for Bryce Miller, but for him, he just needs to worry about himself, and getting himself right. And then if you can get himself right, he'll be able to, get that 5 spot back. But if not, Logan Evans is definitely, the better pitcher right now, for that 5th spot in the rotation. We're at 10, 90 to go. And we got Sean Reynolds entering the game against Julio Rodriguez. First pitch to Julio, low and away. 1-0 count, 2 for 3 with a run. And Julio, 237 average, 7 homers and 20 ribbies. But if we look at his stat line and what he's done in May, he's batting over 300, he's got like 4 home runs. They'll bring up the stat at some point during the broadcast and whatnot, but it's much, much better than the overall numbers that he accumulated in March and April that make it look like he's not really doing that well. But if you, break down what he's done in just May, it's a night and day difference. Takes a strike looking there. Reynolds on the mound, Rodriguez in the box. Runner at first in the top of the 7th, 1-1 pitch. And Julio fouls that one off himself. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. 5-0 Seattle lead. That would be a good question, Captain, for Elliot. He's a super fan of the Padres, and he's been an OG to the channel since I started it in 2017. He would know who the best pitchers are overall, and maybe who the best pitchers for 2025. Just because, a lot of times you have guys that have the name recognition, but that might not mean that they're playing great in 2025. So that would be a question that Elliot will be able to answer for you. Reynolds on the mound, Julio in the box, top of the 7th with 1 out, runner at first. 1-2 pitch, Julio popped up, and that one is fading foul. Nice souvenir for a fan there, about 30 rows back. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Julio. Julio, line drive to third, force out at second, double play attempt. Got him. Great defense there. All led by Manny Machado at third, and Julio hits into a double play, but it's nice to see Julio at least running hard to first there. But great defense. What can you say? Manny Machado is a very, very special player. There's quite a few special players on this team. I see you, Manny. All right, let's see what's up next here in the bottom of the 7th. And the real question is, are we going to have Logan Evans come out, or are we going to bring someone else in? He's at 89 pitches right now. I mean, technically you could have him go, but we'll see what they decide to do. I mean, he's been awesome today. It's not like he's given up anything. Next up, 1 for 2, catcher Elias Diaz. And we already know that the Padres are going to want revenge tomorrow and on Sunday. So batting second, 0 for 2, left fielder Brandon Lockridge. And we're back at the top of the order, right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. And we're going to have Carlos Vargas enter the game. And I think, I don't know if I agree with bringing in Carlos Vargas. I don't think he's a very good player. But, again, Logan Evans did a great job. Salute to him. Again, not to give up any runs against a team like the fucking Padres. Are you kidding? 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 89 pitches, 57 strikes. 1-1 record with an ERA of 6.60 coming into the game, and he got his ERA down by 4. It's all the way down to 2.57. What a fucking stud with the fucking goggles, Logan fucking Evans. Electric. Way to be. And again, if it was Emerson Hancock, who we have on the bump tomorrow, it could be the opposite score. We could have given up 5 runs to a team like this. So we'll have to wait and see what we get tomorrow. But so far, so good here. But the thing is, Carlos Vargas, he sucks. So if he ends up giving up a homer or 2, you guys might be able to get back into the game here. But hopefully that doesn't happen on our end. But obviously for Double E, that's what he's hoping for. But I got zero faith in Carlos Vargas. He's given up home runs on the regular, like Trent Thornton, and again, I just don't trust you. And sometimes the Mariners even let him go more than 1 inning, even when he's pitching bad. So we'll see where it goes. Way to be, Logan. One of the best outings in his early MLB career. First pitch from Vargas to Diaz. Takes a strike looking, even though it should have been called ball. 0-1 count. Come on, Vargas. Don't be a bum. Don't give up fucking home runs. Little slow dribbler. Williamson is there. Throw to first to Tellez. 1 away. We'll be fine with little slow dribblers and pop-ups, but just don't give up the big fucking home runs. Gabe Spire gave up the big home run to Goldschmidt. And then Vargas gave up the home run to Judge, and we fucking lost, And again, we should have won that game. And I hate losing when you have a lead, and then the bullpen just comes in there and fucks it all up. But that's a regular thing that not only happens to the Mariners, it happens to every favorite, team that you root for, in baseball. Not even the Dodgers, can say that they can, get away with having the bullpen fuck it up for them. Every team, goes through the highs and the lows where starting pitching is great, and then the bullpen just fucks it all up. And sometimes you got to have a 5-0 lead, to win, because If the bullpen is shaky, they could end up getting 1, 2, 3, 4 runs in one inning, and then you're fucked with the momentum. That pitch fouled off. Vargas ahead of the count on Lockridge, 0-2 count. Come on, Carlos. I don't got any faith in you, but hopefully you can just get some cheap ground outs and pop-ups. And there it is. Ground out on the first one, pop up on the second one, 2 away. Keep it going. Same shit. Ground out, pop up. Ground out, pop up. Next up, right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr., 1 for 3 with a K. Yeah, if Emerson Hancock can give up, 3 runs or less, we're going to have a chance. But if he gives up 5 or more, we're not going to win. And again, if Dan Wilson would have pulled him when it was 2-2 in the 5th with 2 guys on and no outs, like I said, we wouldn't have got 5 runs blasted on us that I predicted. And again, that you have to know when to pull a pitcher. And Dan Wilson not only fucked up the game for us, he fucked up Emerson Hancock's confidence. Because again, if he would have pulled him, again, yeah, you want to stretch guys out, but you can't put them in there in a position where they're going to get fucked up. And Dan could have pulled him, and then his confidence still would have been there. And yeah, you would want to have the pitcher go a little bit longer, but the game still would have been 2-2, and maybe the guy that comes in like Vargas maybe gives up like a run, but we wouldn't have gotten 5 scored on us in that position. But either you live and you learn, and we'll find out if Dan Wilson and Seitzer and Edgar and everyone has learned from that mistake. That pitch fouled off towards first base. Ballboy got that one. And a big swing and a miss. Wow, Vargas wheeling and dealing. This is a better version of Vargas than I was expecting. Down goes Tatis, end of the 7th, and the Mariners have a shutout, baby. And it's not like we were on a 1-hitter or a no-hitter. Padres got 7 hits, but they got nothing to come on the scoreboard. And the Mariners got 3 homers. Solo shot, first pitch of the game from J.P. Crawford. 2-run blast with Rowdy Tellez, and Cal Raleigh scored. And then Cal Raleigh homered and returned the favor with Julio on. 3 homers, 2 2-run blasts, a solo dinger to start the game, and we're at 5-0 lead on the Padres. Let's go to the top of the 8th and see who's up next for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a base on ball. The leader of the team, the best player on the team, top 5 MVP candidate, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a K, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And pinch hitting for Rowdy Tellez, Donovan Solano. Hell, even Donovan Solano looks better in a Padre uniform. You can have him back for a bag of Cheetos. And let's be honest, the chances of us hitting 3 home runs tomorrow is not likely. Even with Brian Wu on the mound on Sunday, the chances of the Mariners hitting 3 home runs in that game, not likely. So again, we have to take advantage of this, special situation that we were in today, and again, it will carry over into tomorrow. But again, it really depends on what we get from Emerson Hancock, on the bump. And again, if he can hold them to 3 runs or less, we should have a chance. But if he gives up 5 or more, Padres are going to win. And then we have Brian Wu on the mound on Sunday, out in the rubber match. And Brian Wu, if we're being honest, he's been as good as anybody in MLB this year. And again, I trust him with everything. And just like I normally do with like George Kirby or Logan Gilbert on the mound, the trust is 100%. And Brian Wu has been fucking electric this year. All right, let's go, Big Dumper. Likes up, donate, comment, share. We're 6 likes away from 50. So we got at least 30 people in the room that haven't done it yet. Do your boy a solid, and we're at 10, 90 to go on the dono train. First pitch, takes a strike looking with that slider. 0-1 count to Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. And I love Apple TV broadcasts. 4K cameras. You know, it's just beautiful. That one fouled off. Goes behind the catcher. Behind in the count now 0-2. Let's go, Big Dumper. Awesome to be able to have our very own Mike Piazza, Pudge Rodriguez on the Seattle Mariners. And he's already broken so many records. He's only been in the league for, 3-4 years. Can you imagine if Cal plays 15 to 20 years? Like, no one is ever going to catch him stat-wise in the Seattle Mariner organization, even though we have a Harry Ford waiting in the wings who is a catcher. But they may keep him, they may trade him, but there's no way that Harry will be as good as Cal ever in his career. And again, you already knew that Cal was special, even in his rookie year. Him getting that homer off the Athletics to get us to the playoffs. He has been so fucking clutch, even though everyone wanted it to be Julio. But again, if Julio ends up being like the second best player, it might actually be a godsend for us. Let's go, Cal. That pitch fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs, top of the 8th. And it's a nice dynamic duo. It's like Jordan and Pippen, with Cal and Julio, especially when they're both on. 2-2 pitch. And strikes him out looking. Great pitch there by the Padres. 1 away. Next up, 1 for 3 with a K, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. Chop foul. 1 ball and 1 strike from Reynolds to Arozarena. Pitch is high in the zone. Should have been called ball, called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Reynolds to Arozarena. Padres getting a lot of calls there on the line. Pitches inside with the sweeper. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on with 1 out. 5-0 Mariner lead with 3 homers today. A solo jack by JP to open the game. First pitch of the game for a home run. And then a 2-run homer by Cal Raleigh and a 2-run homer by Rowdy Tellez as Arozarena strikes out swinging. We should bench Randy and put in Dylan Moore in left field, I'm telling you. And bench Miles Mastroboni and put Leo Rivas at second with JP at short. If you put in Demo and Leo Rivas as everyday players, you're going to get more production than Randy and Miles Mastroboni, period. And Donovan Solano, you shouldn't even be on the fucking team. Next up is Donovan Solano. Solano popped up, fading foul. Yeah, Kirby's got 1 more start in AAA for the Tacoma Rainiers, and if he doesn't have any setbacks, we should get him back next week. And then a little bit later after that, we'll get Logan Gilbert. So and Solano strikes out swinging. What's new? He's just a waste of space. It's not working. Like, how often do we have to have this guy come in and play for, Rowdy Tellez as the backup first baseman, or come in and pinch hit and get nothing over and over and over again? It's like, it almost feels like it's a political thing, where it's like, we paid money for him, so we have to play him. Fuck that. You just admit that you made a mistake and you overpaid a guy, even though he was batting .280 for the Padres, and, fucking send him to AAA or just bench him. You know, I guarantee if we would have bring up Tyler Locklear from AAA, who actually played on the Mariners last season, you would get more out of Locklear offensively and defensively than you are from Solano. He stinks. Facts. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th and see who's up next here for the Padres. Next up for the Padres, the only guy that's having a great game, 3 for 3. Can he make it 4 for 4? First baseman Luis Ariz. Batting second, third baseman Manny Machado. And batting third, the phenom, center fielder Jackson Merrill. And we are getting rid of Vargas and bringing in Casey Legomina. Yeah, but the thing is you have to understand, Double E, you know, the Mariners aren't a team that makes the playoffs every year like you guys. You know, it's like we don't have the luxury. We're the only team that's never made a World Series. You know, we don't go to the playoffs on a regular basis. So again, it's like we have to make sure that we're not playing shitty players, you know? And again, it's like if you're not playing up to the standard, you're not, you know, we can't have you here. You know, again, it's you know, this is the best team that we've had in 24 years. So there's no room for the Trent Thorntons or the Donovan Solanos, you know, and I'm happy that he did well for you, you know, but he sucks here. He's not good. He's not a good fit. He's old. He doesn't bring you any juice. He doesn't have any aura or vibe, you know, like, you know, there's nothing positive about having him on the team, unfortunately, you know. I mean, he might even be worse than what Polo and Garver were last year, and that's fucking bad. I mean, the only thing positive about him is if he gets in the box and he doesn't swing, then maybe we can get a walk. That's the only thing, or get hit by a pitch. That's the only way he's getting on first. Luis Ariz pops up. JP is there. His 4 for 4 day doesn't happen. 1 away. Hey, I got to keep it real, my guy. When guys are good, you're going to hear about it. But when they're not, you know, I mean, we've given him plenty of time to turn it around. Next up is third baseman Manny Machado, 0 for 3. He won't be 0 for 3 tomorrow, or more than likely, maybe on Sunday with Brian Wu, but with Emerson Hancock, you know, he won't be 0 for 3. Takes a strike looking right down the pipe. 0-1 count with that sinker from Casey Legomina. 0-1 pitch in the zone, but should have been called ball, but called strike. Ahead of the count now, 0-2. Machado fouls that one back. Count remains 0-2. Bottom of the 8th, 5-0 Mariners. Yeah, and I don't know, like you mentioned earlier, Elliot, I don't know what it is about the Mariners and Padres when we play you guys in San Diego or at home. We play you guys really well, you know, for whatever reason. That one fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Manny Machado. And down goes Machado. There we go. A nice punch out there. Way to bring bang, bang, that electricity, baby. Next up is Jackson Merrill. But Manny won't be going 0 for 4 tomorrow. Next up, center fielder Jackson Merrill, 0 for 3 with a K. First pitch, low and at the knees from Legomina to Merrill, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, fouled off by Jackson Merrill. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour. Fouled off again with the sweeper. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I don't consider the Padres a rival. You know, I know they made it up like, oh, it's a rivalry weekend, you know, in series. They're not the fucking rivals. You know, our rivals are the fucking Angels, the Athletics, but primarily the Rangers, the Astros, and the Yankees. That's who the fucking rivals are, you know? If they want to make something up like, ooh, we're a rivalry. This isn't a fucking rivalry, but I mean, if they want to claim it is, that's fine. For like the Vetter Cup or whatever, some shit that they want to make up. But this is not a fucking rivalry. And Legomina gets him. End of the 8th inning. Let's go to the top of the 9th with a 5-0 lead. Like, no one on planet Earth has ever said, oh, the Mariners and Padres are rivals. Said who? The Padres and the Dodgers are rivals. You know, not you know, even the Padres and Giants are more rivals than the Mariners. Come on. Next up, 2 for 4 with a run and an RBI. Solo dinger to start off the game, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, pitch hitting for Polo again. 0 for 1, Mitch Garver. And batting third, 2 for 4 with a run, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up, baby. Let's see if we can get one more here in the 9th. Like Padres' number one rival is Dodgers, you know, and it's always going to be like that, you know, and again, it's heated, you know, there's nothing heated about the Mariners and the Padres, you know, and our number one rival is the Astros, you know, that's our number one, you know, and again, you know, we'll fight and battle with the Angels and the Athletics, and obviously the Angels suck this year. Athletics are better than, you know, obviously they were in the last couple years. We like playing against the Rangers, but I'm not sure if that's really like a rivalry. You know, it really feels like the Astros and the Yankees, to me, those are like the main rivalries. But obviously, you know, playing against the Angels and Trout and Ohtani over those years, that was a nice rivalry. But, you know, obviously now Trout getting hurt all the time and Ohtani on the Dodgers, it doesn't feel like a rivalry, because for a rivalry to be a rivalry, both teams have to win. It can't just be lopsided and one-sided. So, you know, Athletics, that's a rivalry now, but it wasn't in the past, but now it is. Angels, that's not a rivalry. Rangers and Astros, that's a rivalry. And then Yankees, even though they're not in our division, you know, in the AL West, but they're in the American League, that definitely, you know, has history with like the King Griffey Jr. era. Oh, and Leody Taveras. I thought we were lower in the lineup, but again, I can't trust ESPN. Leody popped up one away. Because I was going to say, how are we already back at the top of the order already? Didn't we miss a couple guys? Next up, left fielder Dylan Moore, and then Ben Williamson. It's always a certain part of the game where ESPN or the broadcast is lacking. Padres-Dodgers is the best rivalry in baseball, period. There's no other rivalry that's on that level. Both teams are great. Both teams are World Series contenders. You know, and again, at some point, you would think, you know, the Padres will end up beating the Dodgers, but you just don't really know when. And then if they do, they have to try to go all the way. But, you know, Dodgers are so deep with Mookie and Freddie and, you know, Shohei Ohtani and Teoscar and, you know, guys that they didn't expect to have great years like Will Smith. You know, the only thing that you can hope for as a Padre fan or a Giant fan is that the Dodger pitchers get so fucking hurt that they have nobody left. And then they end up getting one of their stars or two of their stars get hurt. You know, whether it be Freddie and Mookie or Teoscar and Shohei Ohtani, you know, just to kind of even out, you know, the rivalry. And down goes Dylan Moore. 2 away. Next up, third baseman, 1 for 3 with 2 Ks, Ben Williamson. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Smash that like button for you, boy. Let's go. And we're at 10, 90 to go. First pitch outside with a 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count to Ben Williamson. Reynolds on the bump, Williamson in the box. Oh, man, Apple TV broadcast. I wish the Mariners were on Apple TV Plus like every fucking week. Like once a week, every week, like on Friday. I love the broadcast. So crispy. Cameras are beautiful. I love the layout where the scoreboard and everything is. they always have nice little stats and analytics. It's kind of like a futuristic broadcast compared to kind of some of the traditional shit that you see on FS1 or ESPN, unless you end up having your local broadcast like on Root that we have for Seattle. And there's a walk. Nice job, Ben. Good eye. Next up is J.P. Crawford. 2 for 4. Let's see if he can make it 3 for 5. First pitch, high and out of the zone. 1-0 count to J.P. Crawford. I mean, the main reason I like it is because of the cameras and, everything is in 4K. They're the only group that uses 4K cameras for everything. Like every camera angle, anyone they interview, like everything is like the most expensive equipment, and it shows. It's beautiful. Even if you don't have a 4K TV, it looks like 4K on an HD TV, and you can definitely tell the difference. I know I can because, I watch baseball every day, so. Pitch is inside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Reynolds to J.P. Crawford. Oh, yeah. Prime stinks. Yeah, I agree. Prime stinks, dude. And then NASCAR is going on to Prime now. They do like Fox, and then NBC had it for like the second half. But now, it's either NBC or Fox for like the first part. And then, it's one or the other. But now you're getting like Amazon, doing the NASCAR stuff. Yeah. Apple TV is much better. 3-1 count. Fouled off as JP's hard hat falls off his head. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and a runner at first. Top of the 9th with 2 outs. 5-0 Mariners. I mean, pretty soon, like with all the money that is going around, we're going to see, like NFL games on any app. Disney app, Hulu, like, nothing will be surprising anymore, with everything that, kind of the way that the future is going. And there's a walk to JP. I got like on my phone alone, I got Pluto TV, CW, MLB, Disney Plus, Tubi, Hulu, Netflix, Prime, Freevee, Peacock. It's like, you never know where the next thing is going to go. All right, we got runners at first and second now with 2 outs. And next up is Mitch Garver. Let's go, Mitch. Yeah, and it's crazy, like, NFL, they always take over, Thanksgiving, but they proved that they can take over Christmas now, which is normally like an NBA holiday. Not anymore. The NFL can put a couple games on there, even with shitty teams, and they're going to get more ratings than any NBA game. Top of the 9th, runners at first and second with 2 outs, 5-0 lead. Reynolds on the mound, Garver in the box. 0-1 pitch. Same location there with the sweeper. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mitch Garver. Pitch is in the zone, takes a strike looking with that slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mitch Garver. And I mean, and it almost is crazy now where it's like, they make every individual forced to pay for all these like subscriptions and whatnot. Obviously, streaming links are still going to be really popular depending on, what you can afford and what you can't. But luckily with me, like with my T-Mobile, I get MLB, TV for baseball free, even though it doesn't allow me to do Mariners. And then they give me Netflix and I get Apple TV Plus for free on my plan, which is nice. And right now I'm only paying like $2.99 a month for Hulu, so I got a good deal there. Like really the only thing I'm paying for right now besides the $2.99 a month for Hulu is Peacock for WWE, PLEs once a month. That 2-2 pitch fouled off by Mitch Garver. Top of the ninth, runners at first and second with 2 outs on Apple TV Plus. Nice 4K broadcast. And Garver pops up. And nice catch there into right field by Fernando Tatis Jr. And now we are at the end of their rope. Do they have anything left to make a rally? Or are the Mariners going to win 5-0? Next up for the Padres, 0 for 2 with a base on ball, shortstop Xander Bogaerts. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a K, DHing Gavin Sheets. And batting third with a triple earlier in the matchup, 1 for 3, second baseman, the Crone Zone, Jake Cronenworth. Let's go Mariners. Elliot, how do you feel about Carr retiring? Shuck ain't good enough to be the starter, and again, it feels like the Saints are kind of going backwards now. Like I said, like Atlanta is going to leapfrog them. Tampa's at the top, and they're going for their 5th NFC South crown, which they will get. But Atlanta should be, better than they have been in the last couple years, and that will be the number 2 team. You just better hope that the Panthers don't leapfrog you and the Saints end up being last. But if you guys end up being in last place, it might end up being a blessing in disguise. Because again, if you end up getting in last place, you could get a top 5 pick, maybe get your future franchise quarterback and some good players in 2026 and 2027. You guys had a good run in the Drew Brees era, but it kind of feels like you guys are regressing. And then there's like the rumor about Olave potentially getting traded to the Steelers or another team. There's no fucking way that you get rid of Olave. It's like the Michael Thomas experiment didn't work, right? You have to make sure that you're keeping the guys that are at least good on the team now, right? Rashid Shaheed is a good deep threat. Olave is a stud. AK-41 Alvin Kamara is getting older, but you got to keep him, right? Cameron Jordan obviously is not getting any younger. Lattimore is no longer on the team. DeMario Davis is getting up there in age, so yeah, man, so many holes for you guys. Yeah, I hope that you guys can compete, but it's like when I would do like reaction videos for the Saints, like when you guys would win, people would watch, but when you guys are bad and you lose, and obviously the viewership isn't as high because no one wants to watch their team get the fucking ass kicked and get the beats, getting their breaks beaten off of them and whatnot. But I don't know, man. If you guys end up getting 3rd or 4th in the division, could end up being a blessing in disguise. But you guys are definitely in the rebuilding phase now. Spencer Rattler ain't good enough. Taysom Hill ain't good enough. And Shuck, the former Oregon quarterback, he ain't fucking good enough either. But at least you got a new coach, so we'll see where it goes. Colin Snyder entering the game here on the mound in the 9th. Pitches inside with that sinker back-to-back. 2-0 count from Colin Snyder to Xander Bogaerts. 240 average, 3 homers, 20 ribbies with an OPS under 700 for Bogaerts. Pitch in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike from Snyder to Bogaerts. Yeah, we're gonna have to rebuild to a certain degree, but we did it the right way. We still got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, right? Drafted Jalen McMillan, last year with Bucky Irving, and got Emeka Egbuka. So we're already set. So if like Godwin and Evans end up retiring or end up not being on the team, Baker still's got fucking weapons. So we're not going to be in a position like the Panthers or the Saints or some of the other teams where it's looking kind of bleak. We're still going to be like the top dog. And, if Baker can bake, who knows? Maybe we'll end up making an NFC Championship game appearance in the next couple years. I hope so. 3-2 pitch and got him. Bogaerts strikes out swinging. Nice pitch by Colin Snyder. Down goes Bogarts. Colt Emerson, Lazaro Montes, Cole Young, Feldon Celestin, Harry Ford, Johnny Formello, Michael Arroyo, Durangelo Calente, and Ryan Sloan. Look at those players. We have 10 of the top 100. Beast. Next up, Gavin Sheets. I mean, on top of the team that we already have, Ryan Bliss is hurt, Victor Robles is hurt, Luke Rayleigh is hurt, and we have so much talent in the farm. It's so exciting. We're not going to be the only team that has not made a World Series. Like, there's a very good chance the Mariners are going to end up making one, in the next 5 to 10 years. And if there's some kind of Soto mojo, who knows? Could even be this year. American League is up for grabs. Big swing and a miss by Gavin Sheets. Nice pitch by Snyder with that sweeper. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gavin Sheets. And Sheets got hit by a pitch there. He goes to first. Next up, second baseman Jake Cronenworth. Yeah, I think he kind of jinxed you guys too because, regardless if we had Brady and Gronk, and then after Brady and Gronk, he's like, Tampa Bay will be the old Tampa Bay. Unfortunately for him, that never happened. And not only did we win with Brady, but we've been able to win after Brady with Baker. And we're going to be going for our 5th straight NFC South crown. And who knows, maybe it'll be, Eagles Bucks, or maybe it'll be Lions Bucks, or something of that nature, either this year, next year, or the following year. But I'm just really happy that Baker found his forever home. And again, it's nice to be able to have, kind of a journeyman find his way. I love me some Bake. Bottom of the 9th, 5-0 Mariners. Crone zone in the box. Runner at first with 1 out. And a 1-1 count from Colin Snyder. And a nice little hit down the third baseline by Jake Cronenworth. And Sheets is getting waved home. And there breaks the shutout. Nice job, Colin Snyder, you fucking bum. All right, there you go. At least you got a run. Crone zone double to left. Sheets scored. 5-1 Mariners. Should have been 5-0. But again, they're saving. If we would have had Andres Munoz come in like he's supposed to be, this would have been over. But, it is what it is. They're trying to save some of those guys because they know what kind of game it might be for tomorrow. And then we got Woo on Sunday. But, decisions by Dan Wilson, Some I agree with, some I don't agree with. You definitely got to knock a team down when they're down because they're not going to be like this tomorrow. Next up is catcher Elias Diaz. And I would have loved to have a shutout there. It's not like we get very many of them. But now you got Munoz warming up. A little late there, Dan, you fucking moron. Arch will not win you 6 straight Super Bowls, but that would be exciting if you got him. Big swing and a miss by Diaz behind in the count now 0-2. Bottom of the 9th, Snyder on the mound. And again, it shows you the struggles with our bullpen. Some guys are good, some guys are shaky. And I'm actually surprised on how good Vargas and Legumina did. They're not trustworthy. Snyder ain't fucking trustworthy, but should have been Munoz like we normally do. But, trying to get some of these guys some experience, I guess. But, it's hard to give guys that are average experience thinking you're going to get great results. Pitch is low and into the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Diaz. Yeah. Hopefully Arch will be like Eli, but, he ain't going to be Peyton. You're not going to see another Peyton Manning ever again. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out with a runner at second. Snyder on the mound, Diaz in the box, and that's a big swing and a miss. 2 away. Down goes Diaz. Next up, left fielder Brandon Lockridge. Yeah, you don't want Shador. Again, if you want a me player, I mean, it's like, would you want Caleb Williams on your team on the Saints? And if the answer is no, then you don't want Shador either. It's like, like his dad is Deion Sanders. And again, he's got a lot of connections, and whatnot. But as far as like work ethic, and being a good team player, I feel it's kind of like the same situation with like Johnny Football and Mike Evans, right? Travis Hunter made Shador Sanders, not Shador Sanders making Travis Hunter. Mike Evans made Johnny Football, not Johnny Football making Mike Evans. And that sometimes, it can be blurred a little bit. The lines are blurred. It's like you want to root for guys like Johnny Football and, Shador Sanders. But sometimes if you got too much drama behind the scenes and you're too much of a me guy, or you got a party problem like Johnny Football did, it's never going to work out. And Shador is a me guy. So, good luck with that. But even Cam Ward, being a better player than him, he might fail too because the Titans are garbage. They got a garbage organization. They got garbage vibe. They don't got any good players anymore. It's not like they have A.J. Brown and fucking Derrick Henry for him to hand off to. So it's definitely the worst quarterback class that we've seen in a long time. We'll see what happens. 0-1 pitch from Snyder to Wade as they have Wade pinch hit for Brandon Lockridge. Behind in the count now 0-2. One strike away from a victory here. That's why it always makes those special years, memorable. That you realize, certain legends and icons, are only once in a generation. Everything has to come together, and it came together with the right coach, with the right quarterback, the right defense, and the right supporting cast. Pitches low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Snyder to Wade. Come on, Snyder, don't fuck this up already. I mean, he already did. We should have had the shutout. And if Dan Wilson was smart enough, he would have put in Munoz. Because it's not like we're going to be able to bring in Munoz tomorrow. So it's like if you wanted to give Munoz a rest. But this is the whole reason you have Munoz as the best closer in baseball, to shut the fucking game down when you have a 5-0 lead, not to have the other team creep up and get to 5-1, 5-2, or 5-3. Hell, you might as well put Brash in the game instead of Snyder. If you were going to put someone other than Munoz, those are the only 2 guys that you can trust. Pitches low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second with 2 outs. 5-1 Mariner lead. Let's end this already. Jesus Christ. And there it is. There's the punch out. And that's the end of the game. Final score, Seattle Mariners 5, San Diego Padres 1. And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win. Mariners win. Mariners win. Fuck yeah. GG. It just wasn't your day today. And, if anything was a sign of things to come, it was the first pitch of the game for J.P. Crawford going yard. And that kind of told you what kind of day it was going to be for the Padres. But we got Emerson Hancock on the bump tomorrow, who's probably our worst starter that we have right now. So I imagine the bats will come alive. And if we can have Hancock give up 3 or less, we should have a chance. But if he gives up 5 or more, we might have the same kind of score that we have today, but for San Diego with 5 and Mariners with 1. So we'll see where it goes tomorrow. But then we got Brian Wu on the bump on Sunday, and I don't think we're going to lose that game. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. If we win tomorrow, we might sweep y'all. But again, we have to just kind of wait and see. Trident's up, baby. Let's go. And way to get back, into the win column, especially after getting swept by the Blue Jays and then winning only 1 out of 3 from the Yankees. So, nice to see JP get that homer. Nice to see Rowdy Tellez with a 2-run homer and Cal Raleigh with a 2-run homer. Things are looking pretty nice. GG to Double E and all the Padre fans. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more competitive tomorrow. I hope everyone has a great rest of their night. I got to go take my pup on a long walk, and I got to eat some dinner. But I already made the thumbnails ahead of time, so a little sneak peek. So tomorrow's thumb will obviously have the same. Obviously, with Julio Rodriguez on one side and Fernando Tatis on the other, and then saving the best for last, Brian Wu and Fernando Tatis Jr. on Sunday. So tomorrow's game is going to be an hour earlier. It's at 5:40 Pacific. So be here and hang out with your boy. And then we'll be live at 1:10 on Sunday, and we're going to grind it out. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Final score, Seattle Mariners 5, San Diego Padres 1 for the Veteran Cup, even though we're not really rivals. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll be live tomorrow at 5:40 Pacific for Mariners Padres part number 2. And I got one question for you. Who you know talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I am out. Okay. Tridents up. Go Mariners. Captain, I appreciate you. You the man. Gang, gang.